When it comes to heavy earth-moving machines, few names inspire as much awe as the Komatsu D575A, widely recognized as the world's largest production bulldozer. This mammoth machine dominated job sites for more than 2 decades. Built to tackle the most demanding mining and construction work, the D575A was more than just a piece of equipment. It was a showcase of engineering ambition and raw mechanical power. From the moment it appeared in the late 1980s to its retirement in 2012, the machine left a lasting legacy in the earth-moving industry. The birth of a giant. The roots of the D575A can be traced back to the early 1980s, when Komatsu first presented a glimpse of what was to come. In 1981, the company unveiled the D555A prototype at the Conexpo Equipment Exhibition in Houston, Texas. With a staggering 1,000 horsepower rating for its time, the D555A captured the attention of the industry. However, the global economic slowdown and market uncertainty delayed further development for much of the decade. It would take almost 8 years before Komatsu brought its next big bulldozer prototype to life. In 1989, the company introduced the D575A-2SR Super Ripper for field testing in North America. The trials took place in Pennsylvania at coal mining sites, where the machine logged more than 1,000 hours of operation. This first real-world testing phase proved the machine's capabilities and durability under tough mining conditions. In 1991, Komatsu officially began full production, delivering its first D575A unit the following year. That initial machine worked in Las Vegas before heading into heavy coal operations, marking the start of a career that would see the D575A in use around the globe. 2 versions of power. Komatsu offered the D575A in 2 main configurations, each designed for specific tasks, but both sharing the same enormous size and power. The SR, or Super Ripper, was built for breaking tough ground with a colossal single-shank ripper capable of digging to depths of 6 feet 9 inches. This configuration was perfect for situations where blasting was not possible, such as near residential areas or in regions with strict safety regulations. The SD, or Super Dozer, was a dedicated pushing machine without a ripper, optimized entirely for moving massive amounts of material quickly. Both versions were powered by Komatsu's SA-12V170E diesel engine, a 12-cylinder, 4-stroke, water-cooled, turbocharged, and intercooled powerhouse, producing an incredible 1,150 horsepower, or 860 kilowatts. This engine gave the D575A enough muscle to push loads that no other production bulldozer in the world could match. Sheer size and capability. Everything about the D575A was built on a massive scale. In its D575A-3SD form, the machine stood 16 feet tall, stretched 38 feet 5 inches long, and carried a blade 24 feet 3 inches wide. The standard blade could hold 90 cubic yards of material per pass, but with an optional blade, that capacity could soar to 125 cubic yards. These numbers meant the D575A could move entire hillsides in a matter of days. The machine's weight was equally impressive. The D575A-3SR version tipped the scales at around 289,580 pounds, while the D575A-3SD weighed approximately 336,400 pounds. This immense weight provided the traction necessary to push massive volumes of soil, rock, or coal, making it an unmatched performer in the field. The evolution from a -2 to A-3. The first production series, known as the A2 models, were built between 1991 and 2000. In that time, Komatsu produced 17 Super Rippers and 24 Super Dozers, for a total of 41 machines. These early models were pioneers, setting new benchmarks for performance and capacity in the bulldozer world. In 2001, Komatsu unveiled the A3 series, which incorporated both visual changes and significant technological improvements. The A3 models introduced the Palm Command Control System for smoother, more precise handling, along with electronically controlled transmission and steering clutches. Automatic shift-down functions and preset travel speed options made operation easier, while upgraded monitoring systems and a new suspension seat improved the operator experience. These refinements turned the already impressive D575A into a more efficient and user-friendly machine. Despite the upgrades, production numbers for the A3 series remained low, with only 12 units built between 2001 and 2012, making them rare and highly sought after today. Global deployment. Although it was a global machine, the D575A found its greatest concentration of work in a few specific regions. In the United States, 31 units were sold, most of them operating in West Virginia's coal fields. At one point, as many as 17 D575s as were working there simultaneously, primarily for Alpha Natural Resources and Horizon Princess Beverly Coal. Australia received 14 machines, many of which worked in surface mines. Alcoa in Western Australia was a major customer, purchasing 5 Super Rippers for work in sensitive areas where blasting was prohibited. These machines were sometimes operated via remote control to enhance safety. Japan had 8 units, many working in quarries, particularly those owned by Fujisako Comer Limited. The D575A's reach extended even further when 2 second-hand Australian machines were sent to New Zealand. There they were retrofitted with rippers and used to prepare ground above abandoned mine shafts. Like some of the Australian units, these were also occasionally operated remotely. Transporting the Giant, moving a machine as large as the D575A, was a logistical challenge in itself. It could not be driven to new job sites in one piece, as its massive size exceeded road transport limits in most regions. Instead, the Bulldozer was disassembled into major components, such as the blade, ripper, tracks, and main body for transport. Depending on the local regulations, moving the full set of parts required between 6 and 8 separate truckloads. Once on site, the machine had to be carefully reassembled before it could get back to work. Why the reign ended. Although the D575A was unmatched in size and power, several factors eventually led to its retirement in 2012. One of the main issues was its high production cost. Despite being priced as a premium machine, the actual expense of manufacturing it far exceeded what the market could bear. Building each unit was much more costly than producing Komatsu's smaller dozers, and the company often absorbed these losses because the D575A served as a flagship product that showcased their engineering capabilities. Competition also played a role. Even though Caterpillar's D11 series was in a different weight class, it was already well established in the industry, making it harder for Komatsu to capture market share. Early in the D575A's life, some units suffered from mechanical issues, including engine problems and accidents involving power lines, which required costly on-site repairs by Komatsu's specialist teams. Each machine required so much attention during production that it slowed the assembly of other, more profitable models like the D375 and D475. The global market shift was another decisive factor. Falling coal prices in the early 2000s reduced demand for large-scale mining equipment, and the 2008 financial crisis further depressed sales. By the late 2000s, orders for the D575A had dried up completely. Another looming challenge was the cost of redesigning the engine to meet increasingly strict international emission standards. For such a low-volume product, the expense could not be justified. Final production numbers. In total, Komatsu built only 53 D575As across all versions. The breakdown included 17 D575A-2SR units, 24 D575A-2SD units, 2 D575A-3SR units, and 10 D575A-3SD units. This low production run makes the machine not only legendary in terms of capability, but also exceptionally rare. Life in the cab, operating a D575A, was an experience unlike any other in the Bulldozer world. The cab was designed for both comfort and control, essential for the long shifts typical in mining operations. Air conditioning and heating kept operators comfortable in extreme weather, while the air suspension seat reduced fatigue from constant vibrations. The controls were precise and responsive despite the enormous size of the machine, and the A3 series improvements made the cab quieter and more ergonomic. With its high vantage point, operators commanded an unrivaled view of the worksite. And that's the story of the Komatsu D575A, the world's largest production bulldozer, a machine that could literally move mountains. If you enjoyed learning about the D575A and want to see more deep dives into legendary machines like this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep your tracks on the ground and your blades in the dirt. See you in the next one.